Welcome back to Magic Tarot Cards. It's Jasmine. We have a quick psychic talk here for you with tarot cards. We're going to talk about karma, building karma, paying karma, and how does karma happen. Okay, karma is one of God's laws. Karma is something that happens to you when you don't follow His rules, His law. Karma is something you build. Okay, karma also is something you have to pay before you leave this earth. Okay, so how do you build karma? First, I'm going to say, please thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already. If you want that person to read and text me with the number down below and I'll get back at you. All right, so first of all, karma is God's law. Here we have the Hierophant, which could represent him. This is a higher up, the high priestess. He's got all the celestial stars here, so he represents the great I am. And he's giving you his law. Okay, that is the law. The law is you follow his law, his word. There's no way around it. Either you do or you don't. Okay, so if you do, you're better off. But if you don't, then you got justice coming. All right, well, here's justice. Justice is the fair judge. Okay, so you have two judgments. You have karma that you have to pay here on earth before you leave, before you cross over. And then on the other side, you have to pay, you face judgment on Judgment Day. So this is his law. This is justice. So when you build karma, you can do it many, many ways, by the way you treat people, by the way you react to certain situations, by your lifestyle, the way you live your lifestyle, by not following his law. You know, there's many ways to build karma. It's not just one way. People build it many different ways. It's like, think about a chain, and every time you do something wrong, you add a link to it, and then another link to it, and then another link to it, so the chain becomes so heavy, it's wrapped around your neck and it drags you down. That's karma, okay? You have to break those chains in order for you to cross over, okay? And you have to pay that back. So if you wrong someone, you have to make right of it before you cross over, because if you don't, and here's you crossing over, this is when I get this a lot, the Hangman, when people are crossing over, when people are passing away and they're moving to the higher stage in the afterlife. And the reverse means they're stuck in stagnation, they're in limbo, they haven't gone anywhere. Okay, these cards have many, many meanings to them. All right, so since we're talking about karma, this is the representation of the Hangman. Okay, so in order for you to cross over and move to that higher phase, you have to pay your karma first here on earth. Okay, if you don't make right by your karma, if you don't do the right thing, let's say you wrong someone, if you didn't go back and fix it, if you don't go back and apologize, or if you didn't go back and do what you undid, then you face severe judgment. Okay, now if you go back and fix something, then comes forgiveness. Okay, and God can forgive you and say, okay, I'm wiping out that karma, and when you get over here, I'm crossing you over to the higher ground, the higher phase. You're moving up and out. Okay, so there is a way to escape karma if you do the right thing. Okay, but if you don't, and your name isn't written in the book of life, when you get to Judgment Day, when you're facing God and you're having your final judgment, what does happen? Okay, what happens is you meet destruction, the tower. It's like a tower moment. He strikes you and he says, okay, I'm sending you to the level you deserve to be on. Okay, there's different levels of hell. I'm going to tell you that right now. There's a bottomless pit, there's a lake of fire, and then there's levels going up according to your deeds here on earth. And what you did, whether you did right by them or not do right by them, is the level that you go to. I have an illustration here that I showed once. I'm going to show it here in a minute. It's a drawing. But I've always spoke of heaven having layers. That's furthest, highest level is heaven. And then you got a few below it. And then you got the ones going deeper, deeper, deeper until you reach hell. Okay. And now who's in hell? That's who's in hell. Okay, and a person's hell is according to your deeds. Like, let's say you were a thief your whole life, then something will happen to your hands while you're down there. Maybe your hands are being burnt off or cut off or whatever. I know this is graphic. You don't have to watch it, and you don't have to believe it. Okay, but it's according to your deeds here on earth is what your punishment will be if you didn't make right by it, if you didn't ask for forgiveness for it, if you didn't change your ways before you crossed over, then you get thrown down to that level. And once you're there, it's a forever thing. And some people don't believe in that. Some people don't believe in the afterlife. Some people think, okay, once you pass away, that's it, it's over. And that's okay if that's what you want to believe. But when you do get there, then you're going to see different, okay? So if you want to get to this phase here and move to a higher ground and make sure your name is in the book of life, then you have to do right here before you cross over. Before you cross over, you have to make things right. Don't matter, even in the smallest of measurements, you will be judged on. Now think about this. You will be judged on every second of every minute of every hour of every day. Okay? Every second of every minute of every hour of every day is already written down. God sees what you've done, and you're going to be judged according to that when you stand in front of Him on Judgment Day. This is a quick psychic talk. This is not to scare anybody. You don't have to believe it if you don't want to. There's a lot of non-believers, and that's okay. We're all free to choose what we want to choose. Now, I'm going to bring you up here on top to this illustration that sits on my desk. Okay, you probably can't see a whole lot of it. This is the creation when God created the earth. Okay, and then here He cast some people down. Okay, this is in heaven when He was creating the earth. And then He cast us to the earth. And this is, some people go directly to the lowest level of hell when they cross over. Some people go up to a spirit prison, okay, according to your deeds. Some people cross over to a different phase. And then here's one. This is paradise. And then this is spirit prison. Okay, some people from there, because when you pass away, you don't directly go to heaven or hell. You go to a waiting place. That's what the scripture says. You go to a waiting place that I have prepared for you until Judgment Day. Well, here's Judgment Day. So you could be thrown to these here, or you could be thrown to these here. You see how we have from hell exiting back up to Judgment Day. And then the same here. We got some people climbing from earth to here, and then they get thrown back down to Judgment Day. So everybody has to face Judgment Day. Here's the book of life. I'm sorry you can't see this, y'all, because the light's dim in here. And then there's the final judgment. Is your name written in the book of life? Okay, so if it isn't, let me move this thing here. So once you get that final judgment, there's levels. You see from here, they're getting thrown down. They're getting thrown down to this level, and then that's the ultimate heaven right there. Okay, this is a great illustration of life, God's plan of happiness. This is what happens to you. You see, look at here, there's a busload of people going there. There's one trying to get back out, back to Judgment Day, but he's not going to make it because the door's closed. And there's some here that found their name in the book of life, and look, they're flying like little angels all the way to the celestial kingdom, which is heaven. Okay, so where are you going? Where are you going? And now this is for believers. If you're a non-believer, that's okay. You don't have to believe it. But everyone pays karma. Everyone faces that final judgment. Okay, so there you go. That is your quick psychic talk. This is my desk, y'all. So this is where I do my readings. That is your quick psychic talk for today. Believe it, don't believe it. It's up to you what you choose to believe in this lifetime. You know, no one's forcing you to do anything. But we are in the Great Tribulation, like I've talked about many, many times in this life. We don't have a whole lot of time before Armageddon and, Judgment Day. So if you want to make it to the celestial kingdom, I suggest you form a personal relationship with God and, talk with Him. And, maybe change your life if you need to, or do whatever it is you need to do. Thanks for watching. This is Jasmine with your Psychic Talk. See you next time. Bye-bye.